Welcome to the Big Propaganda Wrestling Podcast Network. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a special guest in the building. Yeah. We have a PLP Premium Live Podcast event going on today. A 2-hour special with a true legend, a man of Hall of Fame status in the building, man. Y'all be sure just to tune in all the time, every time when we is on the network. Check out the Tag Champs podcast, Shots and Chops.
Check them out.
But, you know, today isn't about us. Today is about honoring the career and legacy of this great man we have today. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me get into it. Today we have a man who is a 14-time world heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
2-time strongman heavyweight champion.
Yep.
This man is a humanitarian. This man has helped raise over $1 million to charitable organizations.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man here has had presidential or inaugural invitations.
Yeah.
This man has been on national television, such as the Jenny Jones Show, made several appearances, and even on WWF pay-per-view. This guy has rubbed shoulders with the likes of Larry Holmes, the former heavyweight boxing champion of the world. This man is also a founder of his own independent school and company, OCW, Out of Control Wrestling.
Yep.
These guys have had live events all across the country and have put on weekly broadcasts, estimated to 125,000 Houstonians. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get into it. Please, if you can, give me a round of applause for the man, the legend, Mr. Al Rage Walker.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me here. It's a blessing, God Almighty, and I'm happy to be here, guys. I'm really excited about you guys' show.
Oh man, we definitely appreciate
Make sure y'all tune into it every day.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate
yes.
it, man. Before we get dive deep into everything like that, we just want to recognize and thank and send a huge thank you to Miss Arlena with the Arlena Richardson Agency. She helped put this together. Very nice lady. We talked for about a long time last night.
Yes,
man.
Arlena, yes.
Yeah, man. If you guys need any kind of services, any kind of promotion, anything like that, please tap in with Miss Arlena at Arlena Richardson Agency.
Yes.
We will put her all her information in the description below and on the screen as well. Again, thank you so much. We definitely appreciate everything you have done for us, and we would like to continue to do business with you.
You're definitely 100.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because y'all been doing business for over 30 years.
Yes. I can't believe it's been that long already. Yes.
Yeah.
It's good business right there.
Definitely good business.
Definitely good business.
So, how was your day today, man?
Blessed day. Any day you get to wake up and walk around and just breathe is a blessing.
Yeah.
You know, the way things are in this day and time is a blessing because everybody didn't wake up today.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely. So we want to go ahead and just dive into it, you know, with you being such a man of your status. Just
yes, sir.
Tell us about Mr. Al Walker as a child and just coming up and...
Man, growing up as a kid, my parents moved from New Orleans, Louisiana. My dad was a engineer on the super tankers, but back then it was a lot smaller. So he was gone 300 days out the year. My mom basically pretty much raised us, I would say 80% of the time, because he was always at work. And I got into athletics real early time because, of course, back then there wasn't no YouTube, wasn't no internet, everything was outside. I mean, we went outside in the morning when the sun came up, and after you took care of all your business and chores in the house, when the street lights come on, everybody know that to come on in. So that whole day we'd be out there. We played football, basketball, kickball. I mean, you name it, we did it. So we was always in the street. So therefore, athletic-wise, we was already in top shape. You didn't, matter of fact, I don't think you really saw that many kids that was obese, you know, back then because we was always outside 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
And always working physically,
And that's something definitely our generation these days don't really know about.
Yeah. I mean, we hardly got sick. We always ate at home, and we went to McDonald's, man. That was like a like a treat, maybe once or twice a month. But other than that, we was at home doing our thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to dive into this. So, as a kid growing up and everything like that, and times have definitely changed from back then to now. When you was a kid watching wrestling coming up, who were some of the guys you looked up to?
Wow. Back when I was a kid, I want to say the first person that caught my eye was Wahoo McDaniel.
Oh yeah,
He used to come out there with all the feathers and do the Indian dance, and then I started watching it. And of course, as a young kid, you're gonna start looking for people that look like you. So immediately I saw Junkyard Dog, Hacksaw Butch Reed. I think it was the Birdman, Coco Beware.
Yeah, Coco Beware.
Those guys were the ones that. I know. And what was the guy named Thunderbolt Patterson?
Okay,
he was one of my favorites. I couldn't understand why he didn't get the recognition that he deserved, as far as being a champion with the bigger leagues. But after going through what I went through, I understood now what was the problem. Yeah.
Also, too, just coming up, was it a certain time when you just like, hey, I want to try this wrestling thing out? Like, about when did that start?
Really, I got into wrestling by accident because I was really trying to go to the NFL, play football. And a good friend of mine by the name of Ernie Holmes, he used to play with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was part of the Steel Curtain. He was living down here, and he had a big ranch in Jasper. And I was trying to get with him to play ball. And he said, well, I'm going to go ahead and get you in the camp with the Steelers. And he called me and Joe Green, and me and Joe Green said, man, you late, we already full. So I was like, Dad, what I'm going to do now? Then he said, you know what, you get into wrestling. I said, wrestling? Yeah, you'll be a good wrestler. You'll be a good wrestler. And I said, okay. And we started training. He bought me a ring. He was one of my main sponsors. Bought a ring and showed me how to do everything, and it was history from that point.
Oh, okay. Because I was sure wanting to ask you, did you go to some kind of wrestling school or anything like that?
He told me how the importance of taking care of yourself, everything from training to how you talk in front of the mic and all that kind of stuff. And he put the seeds that was necessary. And I already had a natural ability of character and all that kind of stuff. And he just molded everything. And, I went out there and I went for it.
Okay. As you should. So let's talk about kind of like how we were just talking earlier, the business and, how it's hard for people of our color, trying to come up in the ranks and really make a name for themselves in that industry. How was it for you?
When I got into the business, of course, being an athlete, I expected competition. So I made sure I took all the steps that were necessary to be prepared for any type of competition, because I knew if I was getting a fair shot, they won't have to really bust their behind to outdo me. You may have a little more talent, you maybe look a little better, whatever, but I promise you, the way I was training, you had to be on your P's and Q's every day, because the one time they said, Al, get out there, it's going to be over with. So I made sure I took care of that business. And then another thing, by not having experience, I felt like, being a black guy, I was going to have a harder time because it's dominated by, white people. But when I got there and started looking around and, dealing with what was going on and paying attention, I wasn't getting that kind of energy from the white guys. And I was like, well, okay, it's not going to be as bad as I thought. But it was the brothers that was the main problem. And I couldn't figure it out, because I'm like, it ain't but a handful of us.
Yeah.
So why can't we just respect each other and work together? And it doesn't matter if you go first and I come next. The thing of it is, we build a small alliance. You make sure you eat, I'm going to make sure I eat. Yeah. And we just go back and forth. When the guy say, I want to fire you, well, guess what? If you see go, I got to go. It wasn't none of that back then. Everything was about sabotaging you so they can be in front of you. It was crazy. It was total madness. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was a lot of egos and kind
plenty of hating. But I didn't have any problems, like I say, outside the black race. It was the black guys that were doing all the hating.
Yeah, man, that's tough to see that coming from your own people.
Coming from that really bothered me for a little bit, because I'm like, we all here for a reason. We're here to get a job so we can take our families. If we go as far as being heavyweight champ of the world and all this kind of stuff, that's part of the, of the reward. But our main reason was to feed our family. So I know we all here to feed our family. I'm not going to try to backbite you and make sure you get fired and then you got people at home that's depending on you. That's crazy. But the mentality of them guys back then was just total sabotage. They didn't care what they had to do to get you out of there.
Yeah.
Who my allergies?
Who are some of Who are some of the people that the viewers and we might know that you kind of rub shoulders with, and just got to really be on the scene with Wild Wrestling back in that time?
When I did WWF, the good people, I can say, was definitely Owen Hart. Owen Hart was a general, 100% down-to-earth guy. He would close off his back. He would be the guy that would just come and talk to you about anything, any question you would have. He would try to help you. He was always that helping guy and didn't want nothing in return. He was definitely a good guy. Undertaker is also a good guy. He's straightforward. He's going to tell you like it is, no beating around the bush. And he's about business. Yeah. Plain and simple. He's about business.
Yeah. And, during that time, to have an accolade as 14-time heavyweight champion, that's a Hall of Fame status right there.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
A lot of the promotions I went and worked at, especially here in Texas, when I went, the first thing they say, we're going to give you a title shot. And I said, because you drawing, the people are calling about you all the time. So they would, say, this is how it's going to go. And when I became chairman for every organization that I was working for, the turnout would be great. So I knew I had what it took to be on the WWF level. But it was just the fact that, back then you really had to be connected. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now you can just make a phone call, get on the internet, you can get yourself a lot of exposure. Back then it wasn't like that at all. So it was a lot tougher to get in front of the main people that need to see you.
Yeah. Well, excuse me. Speaking of that road to WWF, how did that go? Like how did that come to mesh?
One thing I'm going to tell the guys now that I didn't know back then, you really have to be selfish. I mean, no friends whatsoever. I didn't know that back then. I went in there as me, being friendly and all this kind of stuff, being helpful. No, that is not the way you're going to make it, because the guy you're talking to, riding the car or whatever, he's the main person probably going to try to sabotage you one way or another. They're going to feel like they're hating. Like, I give an example. I was backstage, I forgot, I think we was in California. And back then, I was hitting the gym 6 days a week, twice a day. It was no joke, because I wanted to make sure I was ready no matter what. So I was about 275, 280, just ripped everywhere. And I was standing in the back, and I noticed Al Snow was just looking at me. And he had a real ugly, and I said, man, what's wrong with you? That shirt you got on is too small. Dude, this is a 3X. Oh, hell no, that ain't no 3X. How you gonna tell me what my shirt is? It's a 3X.
Yeah.
Well, how you get to look like that? Because my mom and daddy birthed me. This is just genetics, bro. I done told you that. I don't do no drugs, nothing. I keep telling you that. No. He was just mad
for
nothing.
For what?
For nothing.
Just
exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's.
I wouldn't expect that from Al Snow, but wow, that's crazy.
And I had so much respect for him before I met him. I was like, I want to get some pointers from you. But after that episode, I'm like, God, dog, you can't. What can you do?
Yeah, it's like everybody, you think you grow up to meet. Don't be that person all the time.
Oh, no, absolutely. Because you watch the guys on TV and you be so excited. And then who would have ever thought I'd have been sitting in the locker room with all these guys and you ready to just have a decent conversation with them. And most of them, they like, well, this guy here to take my job, so I'm going to try to do what I can to get him out of here or get him hurt. Yeah. It's crazy. The locker room is something else.
Yeah.
The locker room is definitely something else.
Crazy.
Speaking of which, just like how much of the whole politics and, all that kind of stuff, behind the scenes that you have to deal with. I know it was a bunch of things back in that time.
Yes, like I give you an example. This is going to make y'all laugh. This one I was on the outskirts of either getting a contract with WWF or not. And I used to always dress decent and nice. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
And I had bought a Versace shirt from some store here in Houston, I think it was in the Galleria. And Monday Night Raw was coming to town. And they said, hey, y'all come and show up because we might need y'all. And I said, okay. So I went there like I always did, dressed like I was supposed to, because the event's going to be there. You want to make an impression.
You want to be clean.
So that night, I got there, had on, Versace and everything. And I'm walking around, everybody just shaking my hand and stuff. Well, The Rock come in, we have on the same shirt.
Oh, wow.
So everybody's like, wait a minute, what the? And at that time, Rock was starting to get that push.
Yeah.
And so normally he'd walk up to me, hey, man, he was across, I said about 10, 15 feet, 20 feet away. Didn't say a word to me. Was mad.
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't know you went and bought this. I had been having this shirt.
Yeah.
You know, he was mad. He wouldn't speak to me. You know, I'm like,
Crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And the people were in the locker room. I mean, in the backstage, they thought it was some type of angle or something. You know, because they're looking at him, they're looking at me, they're looking at me, and I'm like, man, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just here. Vince came and gave me 5. We chit chat for a little bit, and that was the end of that night. You know, but it's crazy. I mean, to see grown men being a feeling so much, and we supposed to be athletes, it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
And thinking about that was the attitude there too, huh?
Yeah.
Damn sure was some attitudes back there, that's for sure. You got that right.
That was the attitude there.
Man.
So you just brought up Vince. So how was y'all's relationship?
Good. Vince was straight to the point. He's about business, you know. A lot of guys say this and that, but I never had a problem with him. He was always straightforward. I remember I did a appearance for them, and matter of fact, me and Rocket tried out at the same time in Corpus Christi. And, you know, back then they had where you did jobs. Well, that was my first time on TV with them and also doing the job. Vince came up to me to the side. He said, let me tell you something. I thought I messed up. Don't you ever do that again. I'm like, well, what did I do? I did everything they told me. He said, no, you're not a jobber. Never. You're a star.
Wow.
Don't you ever do that again. I said, yes, sir. No problem.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
To be looked at by Vince as a star is
Exactly.
a big deal, man.
What else you need to hear?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, Vince give you the okay. It doesn't matter what
he
nobody
don't
else
matter what
says.
He's
nobody
very
else say.
picky. You know what I'm saying? He's like very picky about his people. So, yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Since we already talking about, you know, that organization and everything, can we talk about the Royal Rumble appearance?
Of course, yeah. Definitely. When we did the Royal Rumble, leading up to the Royal Rumble, they were trying to figure out what kind of gimmick. They wanted to do something that was going to promote more black wrestlers, okay? So me and, at the time, Ahmed Johnson was discussing what kind of angle could we help them do. And so we came up with the idea of having guys that kind of slightly represent Farrakhan and his boys, you know what I'm saying? So they had heard about the idea, got together and put it together and come up with the name, the Nation of Domination. Well, the original Nation of Domination, I sent y'all a picture of it.
Yeah.
That's what kicked it off. All the other guys, when they came after later, the reason why that happened because they was jealous because we were so over. See?
Yeah.
They went back complaining to Vince, man, this is messed up. They getting a push, they getting a bigger push than the Iron Man. Well, if you get out there and bust your ass like you're supposed to, you wouldn't be worrying about no doggone Nation of Domination, okay?
Yeah.
So they went to crying to Vince about this, that, and the third. And that's, you know, they changed it up, put everybody in that shouldn't even been up in there. And they really killed the gimmick. It helped some of the guys' career, but far as really the Nation could have been the bloodline.
Actually, thinking about it, that's true. Because I remember like seeing the pay-per-view and I saw the guys come out rapping and everything like that. I think Crush was in there.
Crush was in there. Me and Crush was probably going to end up being a tag team. Because Vince came and talked to Crush about something. He kept on looking at me, looking at Crush, looking at me, looking at Crush. So I already tell he was going in his mind. They're about the same size. You know, he's white, he's black. And I already knew he was thinking about doing something. But the guys kept whining so much that they went on and tried to shut them up and change everything. You know?
Yeah, because I was wondering like what happened. Because I remember even the guys that was rapping, they even gave them a couple matches.
Right. And it messed everything up because the way we had it, the tone that we had set, we had everybody like, damn, these guys is for real.
Yeah.
And then you start throwing everybody else up in there, and they just look like a doggone circus. Because,
yeah, because it went from everybody to D-Lo, Mark Henry, Kama.
And these are some of the guys that we could have been going up against.
Yeah.
You know, because they needed some real tough black guys to go against these big old bad news bad guys. Yeah. But they messed all that up. So
yeah, because I remember when The Rock took over from Farouk, and then I remember Ahmed Johnson coming in, and then he got kicked out.
And then he put him back in. Yeah. Like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
The storyline was all over the place a little bit.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
And they were just because they were trying to satisfy too many guys that was jealous because we was over. I mean, when we did Royal Rumble 97 in the Alamo Dome, that was one of the biggest pay-per-views they ever had, and they haven't been able to beat that one in San Antonio. Ever since, even when they had Goldberg and all those guys come out there later, years later, you still couldn't beat it because the tone was set. There's great angles going on. Yeah.
Could you imagine if y'all if they would have never disbanded everything, y'all going against DX? That'd have been live.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That'd have been some.
Yeah.
That would have been
Yeah.
a good angle because at that time it was DX versus the Hart Foundation versus the Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it'd been more believable.
Yeah.
You know, when you had all those big guys that most of them already had contract, whatever, and they already had their own character. Okay, why you bring them over here like they need help? And the guys can see that. When you coming over here like you need some help, you don't want that. When who you are, you want to build that up. You could have been going against us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it sounded like they dropped the ball on that one. But,
yeah, they did.
Know.
They really did because most of them, only The Rock and I think Farouk kind of did well after that. And D-Lo, of course, he did okay after that.
Yeah.
And Common went to The Godfather, but as far as the Nation itself, it just destroyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think after the switch, I think it lasted probably like another year and a half, maybe.
And that was it. Yeah.
Before they went deep into the Attitude Era.
Yeah, start splitting it up.
Yeah, they split it up because they already messed it up. You couldn't go back and try to fix it. And so that was it, end of that.
And during that time, did you face like any kind of injuries or?
No, I stayed in the gym and my routine was no matter where I went, the hotel had to have a weight room, swimming pool, and a hot tub because no matter where we went and had matches or whatever, that was my routine. I would leave. I would leave the center or whatever, straight to the hotel, eat, go hit the gym, hit the hot tub, hit the bed.
Well, speaking of working out, what is it in the life of Rage in the weight room?
Weight room, man, I'd be in there on my off days. Back then, I was doing 6 days a week. Every other day would be 2 hours. The other day would be 4 hours.
What's the most you lifted?
Back then, and I got it on film, the most I ever did, I attempted 800, but I think I pulled something when I did that, so I was afraid. I didn't do that no more, but I did 700 pounds.
Wow.
And they got this machine that you do like this, sitting straight up. If you look on Instagram, you'll see me doing that. I did that like 15 times with 500 pounds.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
God.
But that was just from straight dieting, eating like you're supposed to, training and stretching. Stretching is the most important part because you got to stay loose and make that muscle grow.
Yeah.
And it keep you from getting injured as well.
Okay. So, also too, I wanted to ask, so after WWF, what was next for you?
Well, after the WWF, I always wanted to run my own company because when I was traveling with those guys, I would go in the back and I asked them, how does this work? How does that camera over there? Why you have this? Because I already had in my mind, I wanted to create something in Texas like ECW, but better.
Oh, okay.
You feel me? Because I felt like
talking about that.
Yeah, I wanted to do that because number one, everybody's not gonna get a chance to get a contract. Sometimes you can go somewhere else and do your thing and look so good, and they'll call you back. Well, hey, we want to offer you this.
Yeah.
So that was my goal, to get something going here and stay working, because just in case you stay gym ready, you stay ring ready, and then if they call you, you ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about kind of how OCW came apart, the school, the promotion. I know you put a lot of work into that thing, having live events across the country, over estimates of over 125,000 viewers on television. That's a big deal.
Yeah, the show was based upon, indie wrestlers, and the reason why I got it started, because everywhere I would go, people would ask me, "Hey man, do you have a wrestling school? I want to come. I want you to train me." And that's really where it came from. And I'm like, well, I had I think when we first started, about 20 guys. So I went and got a warehouse. Ernie had already bought me a ring. So after that, we just set it up and we just started training. And I trained the guys the same way I trained myself. So you had guys out there that was performing at the same level of the WWF guys. And some of them didn't really look the part, but they performed so well that the crowd fell in love with them because the way they was taught. They were taught how to talk. They were taught how to face the camera and certain moves, everything. I made sure we covered everything. And when we did independent shows, this is how you know you got a good show. when you got 200 to 500 to 1,000 people and the show is over at exactly 2 hours and nobody wants to leave, you know you done your job.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody wants to leave. Everybody just standing around. I'm like, you had wrestlers packed up leaving and it's, wow, that's it? It's over? Yeah, it's over.
Man.
Yeah. And just imagine we did this without TV, you know, without live TV, without internet, because that wasn't going on back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You also was on a local Houston channel.
Houston Media Source.
Houston Media Source.
We used to shoot the content. I would go into the studio and then edit for like anywhere from 4 to 6 hours because we had so much stuff. We had to shoot anything from the fight scenes to what leads up to this storyline to climax is going into the ring. So that was a lot of work.
Yeah. How
Especially with them
hands-on?
old machines back then too.
Yeah. How hands-on were you when you was kind of like doing that?
I did
Was
it all.
Part of everything?
I did it all. You know where I got that from? Vince. Well, if y'all remember when they did that commercial with Ahmed Johnson, I think Razor Ramon with the Santa Claus thing. Remember that commercial?
Yeah.
I was there when they did that.
Oh.
And I saw Vince just walking around. He hit that button, hit that button. I said, Mr. McMahon, you know how to work your stuff? He said, Al, let me tell you something. If you're going to run the business, you got to know how to work everything.
Wow.
I said, ooh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
big
got
game right
Yeah,
there.
it's
That's a big
definitely
game
big.
right
Yeah.
Game.
He said, you got to know how to run everything. It's nothing that's going on. I don't know how to do it. That's what he told me. I was like, okay.
Yeah, man. It's so much things you have to learn in order to be successful.
Right.
And you was blessed to actually be in a position to gain so much knowledge throughout your years.
I'm the best, you know.
And actually put forth that work into creating your own.
Because really, honestly, putting it all together was a lot of fun for me. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun because I got a chance to see it grow from an idea to talking about it on the phone to we having little meetings and Denny's or whatever, and then here it is on TV. Here it is, you know, we're making appearances. Here we are signing autographs. You know, it just kept growing. The only problem we had back then, we didn't have consistent funding. Because it takes money to keep that thing going.
Yes, yes,
We
indeed.
didn't have consistent funding. We'd have had consistent funding, no telling where it'd be at right now.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
With the internet, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different time and age.
Yes.
So, like the television, how did it all just like come about? How did that deal, and how did you?
When I did Houston Media Source, let me see. I think a fan had came to one of the shows and wanted to do an interview with me. And I said, where? He said, Houston Media Source. I said, what is that? And he told me what was the whole thing about. So I went to go check it out. And what it is they teach you how to do all this stuff, camera work, everything. And you pay a yearly membership, and they have all the best with the equipment, and you can rent it out for like $5, $10 or whatever. It's really to teach you how to be a broadcaster.
Oh man,
Yeah, real nice place.
it's just crazy to know that you really did everything on your own. Like,
Yeah, because I mean, who else gonna do it? They got to get done, and that's how I was. I didn't want to wait and call Joe and call this person, call that person, and they got excuses. When you got your mindset that you want to make something happen, 90% of the time you gonna have to do it.
yeah,
Unless you got some real soldiers that are in there and they see the same, you know, feeling that you feel. Everybody not like that though, especially back then.
yeah. That's real entrepreneurship right
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
most definitely a big deal.
For sure.
Right now, we're gonna take a break, everybody. We're gonna go to commercial. The king of solar screens, home of the 55 any shape size solar screen.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with Mr. Al Rage Walker.
The king of solar screens.
Ballistic Barrier Products.
Two companies.
One goal, you.
For almost 20 years, we have led the industry in providing an American-made product that's not only safe, but dependable.
And now Ballistic Barrier has curtains for walls, doors, and windows.
A window covering that saves lives and deters active shooters.
A shade to prevent more harm to our schools, our churches, our offices, our homes. With its Kevlar core, you can rest assured that safety is in front of you.
Welcome back to the 2-hour special of the PLP
Yeah.
with the one and only, the legendary Mr. Al Rage Walker.
Yes, sir.
Before we left, we was just getting into some of his career highlights, things he's done in his business, so much he's done. And it's just an honor to be here and a privilege to have this man on set today, guys. It's the feeling is almost overwhelming.
Yeah, it really is. And speaking of that, man, of just being like a legend in my eyes, I want to talk about this White House.
Oh man,
I got to ask you about that, man. How did that come about, and how did you feel?
Let me see how that went. Okay, we was at that time working with Arlene. We was really doing a lot of stuff, a lot of charity work, going to a lot of different schools. I mean, it was so much going on as far as appearances that people was really liking the stuff I was doing. They were liking the results.
Yeah.
So they would call Arlena and try to book me for everything. So this was when the time when it was getting ready to have the presidency, right? I think he had just became president, something like that. And they wanted some athletes to come to the White House and do some speaking. Because if I can remember, it was something about aligning athletes to help the young people do better. And they had contacted Arlena and one lady that worked at the White House at the time, and she said, I need somebody from your agency to come and represent and talk to, the people about, possibly how they're going to do better in their life. And so Arlena suggested, well, maybe you should have a wrestler. She said, a wrestler? She said, yeah, you should have a wrestler to, talk about life. And I have just a guy for it. She said, Walker. So she said, well, send me his stuff. So she sent the lady my stuff. I got the invitation to go to White House. Like, man, I'm going to White House.
Yeah.
So at that time, winter was like real bad. I mean, they had real bad storms and stuff going on up north. And so I was trying to get a ticket and all this kind of stuff. All the flights was canceled. It was snow everywhere. I couldn't even drive up there. So I couldn't make it. I could not believe I'm invited to the White House to do this thing, and I just couldn't get there. I couldn't drive there because the roads were closed. There was snow everywhere.
Yeah.
I was miserable. So they turned around and invited The Rock. If we go back to when Bush was becoming president, The Rock was speaking there, but that was supposed to be me. And I have all the, the stuff they sent me a real nice big package with the invitation and all that stuff. But another one bites the dust, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun to happen to see it's The Rock once again.
Yeah. Once again.
Somehow I just kind of get in from it every now and then.
Yeah.
Shirt.
But it's no big deal. It's meant to be, it's meant to be. So, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
He did a pretty good job, but I would have done, of course, a whole lot better. But he did a good job.
Well, you also had a multi-time national television appearances. Jenny Jones.
Jenny Jones, yes.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Jenny Jones was my first national debut.
Oh, okay.
Because I had did the local show here in Houston called the Deborah Duncan Show.
Oh, okay.
And I think we did a Deborah Duncan show on a Tuesday. Because we did a live broadcast on a Tuesday, and then somebody from Jenny Jones, at that time they were stationed in Chicago, had called Arlene and said, "Hey, I want to get you guys up here for Thursday. Can you send a ticket and have them come out on Wednesday?" So of course Arlene called me. I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And at that time, Jenny Jones was with NBC, so I got a chance to go to Chicago. I see the NBC studio, the whole nine, and they said, "Okay, we got you here to do this show." I said, "What's the show about?" And she says, about having a hard time to date. And I'm like, I don't really like, but I'll play it. I ain't know date, but I'll go along with it.
Yeah.
So it was me and I think 6 or 7 other different personalities, just women. I was the only guy. I'm like, wait a minute, how y'all gonna have me the only guy here? Like, sorry, you the guy. I said, okay. So they had like people that was fitness trainers, bodybuilders, female bodyguards. I mean, you name it, they had the whole cast. And they had me to come out last, so I'm like, I'm gonna just come out here and just be me. So I had on one of my nice outfits, had on the shades and everything, shirt opened up, and I walked out, and man, the response.
All the ladies, we saw the clip.
Absolutely crazy.
They was going crazy.
They was going nuts, and I'm glad I had my shades on because I wanted to laugh. But I said, I gotta somehow take advantage of this. So I walking and saw the lady right there. I just did like this here, and she rubbed on my chest, and they went crazy. Man, let me tell you something. They played that show across the nation over 100 times.
Wow.
It was played so much. Let me tell you, y'all gonna laugh at this one. I went to Vegas, right, because I was gonna interview Larry Holmes at the Paris Las Vegas Hotel. So my wife was complaining because she said, man, we got here too early. Ain't gonna be able to get no room. I said, I got this. There's no way you can get a room. We here too early. So I got up, took my belt out of my bag, and she said, oh, Lord, here we go. Hey, watch this.
Yeah.
So as I'm walking to the desk to go talk to somebody about getting in our room early, that's when flat screen TVs just came out. And they were real thick. They were like this thick. But the hotel had them all over the place. Guess what came on? Jenny Jones show with me on it.
Oh.
And they had it right at the part when I was walking out. So I'm walking with the belt, and there's about 100 screens up in there, and you see my big ass walking on Jenny Jones on TV, and here I am walking to the lobby. So everybody started turning and saying, hey, that's him. And the hotel manager seen it.
Yeah.
So he was like, people start running to me, wanting an autograph. I'm signing autographs, trying to get to the doggone front. And everybody just thought my wife just doing this here. And everybody just, going crazy. So he came and walked up to me. He said, sir, you staying? I said, yes. He said, can I help you? I said, yeah, I'm here, getting married, whatever. And then I'm doing this show with with Larry Holmes. He said, don't worry, you need to get your room. I said, yes. He said, I'll take good care of you. Put us up in the penthouse.
Wow.
Yeah. But that just go to show you, when you out here doing this stuff, you just never know how it's going to fall into place. Who would ever thought in a million years I'm in Vegas, I'm at a nice hotel, 6-star hotel, whatever, and hear my big behind on TV all over the doggone hotel. And it had just opened.
Wow. Man, that's crazy. And you had multiple appearances on that, too. They kept bringing you back.
They kept on bringing me back, yeah.
Yeah, you most definitely had the sauce.
Had the drip. Had that drip going.
Yeah, that drip.
I was telling my son, you the drip, but I'm the original flavor.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like that, man, for sure, man.
Yeah.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
It was funny because when it got to the room, I talked more smack with my wife. I was just talking, she just shut up. I said, we're in the room, right?
Yeah.
In a better room at that, so yeah.
That's
That's
crazy.
dope.
Also too, man, with the wrestling, is it anybody that you had real good chemistry with?
Chemistry, a local guy that's from here, his name is Joseph White, but his stage name was King Ali.
King Ali.
Real tough, I'm talking about real physically tough guy. Just tough. Super talented. But for some reason, they felt like his physique wasn't what they were looking for. And I'm like, but this guy does everything. He know how to talk on the mic. He's a great bad guy. But, they always had excuses back then,
Yeah.
I see all kind of guys on there with all kind of shapes. And they were terrible. I think the worst one I seen was the Blue Meanie.
Oh, yeah.
Come on now. I was backstage one day, and the Blue Meanie walked in, and I just looked, and I looked at Undertaker, and he looked at me. The next time I was there, Blue Meanie was gone. Gone. So I already knew what that was about.
Yeah.
Gone.
I watched a match recently that you had back in the day, and you went against Papa Don.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we just had a guest on who wrestled him recently in a cage match.
Really? Papa Don is still doing his thing.
Yeah, out there in Austin.
In Austin,
he got a promotion out there.
Okay, he's still doing his thing.
APW. And I watched that match. And we did our little homework on Papa Don. So Papa Don used to be a heel and everything like that. I watched that match, and he definitely was a heel in that match. He was cheap and all kind of stuff, man.
Trash talker, yes.
It's crazy how it just go full circle.
Full circle, man. That was crazy. And then of course you got the victory and everything like that, man. I just had to throw that out there because we just had one of his students on.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty cool. They actually had fought in the cage match.
In the cage match, he loved to bleed. That's just him. He loved to bleed.
Yeah.
Man, I want to bleed tonight. Not with me.
Don, man. Shout out to Papa Don, man.
Papa Don.
Yeah. Man, it's just crazy how the world works and stuff like that, man. Just that's just like another generation of wrestling just still around. You get what I'm saying?
See, people have to understand that the indie shows, especially in Texas, is what kept the energy going for wrestling.
Yeah.
See, when WWE is gone up north and they got to do 30, 40 cities up north, they may not be back down here for about 9 months to a year.
Yeah,
so in the meantime, people still want to see live action. And that's when the indie shows, if you have a good show, people are going to come watch it because they love it and they want to be up close to it. And then by the time WCW come back to Houston or wherever, the fans already fired up, so now they get to see the superstars. So that's why the tickets were just selling like crazy, because the indie shows what kept it afloat.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any interest in going to WCW?
Oh man, y'all gonna let me tell you about WCW. Nothing against WCW, okay? Nothing against, but once again, here we go.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray,
Okay.
Harlem Heat,
Yeah, yeah.
good brother, good 100% brother. He tell you like it is, good or bad or whatever. At that time, him and his brother were still tagging Booker T.
Booker T.
Okay, and we had called Steve because we knew WCW was having Nitro. It was still doing stuff at the Astrodome.
Okay.
Okay, so he said, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna leave y'all some tickets at the front, and then at the mail-in, whatever they call it back then, and y'all get the ticket. Y'all come on in and find where the boards are at, and I'm gonna send somebody to come get y'all. Y'all come to the back, and I can introduce y'all to everybody." I said, "Good." So me and Joe got dressed, whatever, showed up, got the tickets, walked around the dome. They were like, we were coming on this side. The dressing room was way on the side. You know how big the dome is?
Yeah.
We were way over there. So we walked over there. We talked to Steve and Michael,
Okay.
and we talked to, remember Prince IK?
Yeah, Prince IK. I remember
Okay,
Prince IK.
we talked to both of them. Steve and Michael went back and said, I talked to Steve, but if it'd do something real quick, and he said when she's done with that, he's gonna come back. Prince IK came and said, you guys need some help. Real nice guy.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, let Booker T and Stevie Ray know that we out here. Dodger. So when he came back to tell us, he had a funny look on his face, like, you know, like he really wanted to say something else, but he just told us they're gonna come get you guys. Okay, I said, okay. So finally, after about almost an hour, Stevie Ray, Steve and Michael came back and got us and said, Stevie said, y'all come on, y'all follow me. So we went to the back. I got a chance to see Big Show for the first time. I got a chance to see Papa Pump and a couple other guys are back there. So Booker T walks up to it, hey, big dog, hey, y'all, what's going on? Da-da-da, bitch, y'all. And Prince IK is like, where they at? With a funny look on his face, like he was just mad. And so I'm looking at Prince, and I'm looking at Booker T, and I'm like, why is he looking at him like that, like he want to fight? So Prince say, man, that's effed up, Booker T, that's effed up. And he tried to act like he wasn't talking to him. You hear me? That's effed up. And so I say, Prince, what's wrong? He said, man, he told me he don't F with you guys, man. He don't F with you in. He don't F with y'all, man. And that's messed up. Booker T, you a fraud. He started cussing like he was pissed. Now, mind you, that Prince IK first time meeting us. He didn't know us from Adam. Wow. But my thing was, dude, you got a contract. You got a made with WCW. Why would you do something like that?
Yeah.
I'm not understanding. Why would you do that? If you afraid that I'm better or we better, whatever, I'm not going to come in and take your job. I'm going to come and make it better so WCW can last longer. And I can take care of my family doing this stuff. Now, he's probably a different guy now. But I'm going to be straight up. Back then, he was an asshole. Because that was messed up. I would never do that to nobody. There was no reason, because I don't go around doing people wrong, talk about people. That's just not me. I'm about business. Let me go hit my business and get paid or whatever and keep moving, because I'm always about building stuff. But man, that, to this day, I don't know. It's crazy.
I had to ask that because I know when Ahmed went over there, you know, so I just had to ask, you know, did you have opportunity to go over there?
Yeah. But Ahmed, that's another story.
Yeah, I know. I know.
That's another story, man. Like I say, it all goes back to, why would these brothers do their own brothers like that? When you know this is a hard business anyway for us.
Yeah, it is. And the crazy thing is, like, growing up watching Ahmed, see, when I was a kid, Ahmed was on top that 96, 97.
Yep.
And I got
got
the VHSs and everything. He won a trophy. He beat Owen Hart. He was a Slammy winner. He ended up getting the Intercontinental belt, and I think at one point in time he was going to get supposed to get the WWF Heavyweight Champion for Undertaker.
And they're right.
But everything just fell.
Vince first time seeing him, well, me and him was wrestling at, you remember Global Wrestling in Dallas?
Oh, okay. I remember Global.
Remember Global? Okay, we was going there every Friday night, and he was a top heel over there. And he was doing what he could to get me in. So I stayed there and worked a couple of matches. And Akbar liked me. So he made sure he brought me back to do some work down there. And at the time, Tony was getting ready to get signed by WWF. And so they came and Vince saw both of us. He was just looking. And he said, I want y'all he told somebody to tell us to come to the match. They're gonna come to youth. Back then it was called the Summit. We coming to town and want y'all to come. So went and told Tony. We went to the show. Vince just kept looking at us. They hired Ahmed, which is the name was real Tony. And then got the contract. And I told him, I said, hey, man, it doesn't matter who become champion or whatever. I just want to get in where I fit in. If whoever, we going to have each other's back. That was the understanding. We get up in there. First of all the guys were cool, except for,
Once again.
And the thing was, I think they had just signed for Ron Simmons.
Yeah.
And it was steady bringing in more and more guys that was of color. And the problem was, the rumor was out, quote, quote, that they wanted a black champion because they never had one at that time. So Vince felt like he wanted to put the strap on Ahmed Johnson. Well, of course, that rubbed Ron Simmons the wrong way because he was the first black champion in WCW. So when they got out there and had their first match, Ron came and kicked the hell out of Tony in the ribs and messed his ribs up.
He did.
And his kidneys. I mean, he kicked the hell. I'm like, what is he doing? Why?
He lacerated.
Yeah.
He messed him up, and he was out for like 8 months or whatever. So I'm like, man, that's messed up. But like I said, guys' egos back then was crazy because they're more concerned about being number one, and they'll do whatever they have to take you out because they felt like it's only supposed to be a certain amount of brothers here, and I'm going to do what I got to do, and if I got to take you out, I'm going to take you out. So to make a long story short, then when Tony finally came back, he got him back.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Got him back. So then I think he was out for so many months. But when that happened, that's when I was no longer going up there all the time because me and Tony wasn't seeing eye to eye at all because he had done some stuff to keep me out.
Yeah.
It's one after another, just the same pattern.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because at the end of the day, it's all about us working together. I don't care if you work at the grocery store, you work for security for the President of the United States. We have to come and work together. Like y'all got going on right here. This is a great thing.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Real great, real professional. And as long as y'all guys work together, can't nothing stop you. Bottom line. But the minute somebody feels a certain type of way or they don't feel like they fit in or whatever, that's going to destroy the whole boat.
Man.
It's a real game.
It's, like I said, man, I would have never expected that because, again, as a kid, I looked it up to the black wrestlers too because, I always wondered, like, when we ever get a black champion or...
Right.
I was happy when they got any kind of belt.
Any kind of belt, that's right.
Because when Booker T got the television champion in WCW, that was a big thing.
Big thing. Big thing.
That was a real big thing.
So many kids used to come up to me and say, could you please get him to come to our neighborhood and stuff like that there? And I say, I really don't cut with him like that. If I run into him, I see what I can do. And that's when I came with the idea of having a wrestling match in the hood for the kids for free. And we threw a show back at MLK and Zelensky.
Oh.
And all the kids were invited. They had the best time of life because they couldn't afford to go to WWF or WCW.
Yeah.
They ain't had the money to do that. Their parents couldn't afford to do it, so they would never see a wrestling match live. It hadn't been for us coming together and, Ernie helped me pay for the bill, the truck, all that kind of stuff to get it over there. And we went on and put on a great show. It was just like they was at the live event at WWF.
Yeah. And another thing, too, I wanted to ask, because I know when you wrestle and you do your thing, man, you be beating the crap out them guys. Like, having that mindset and to go in there and like how you get them in the corner and you hitting them, and all of a sudden you start stomping on them.
Tornado
yeah, them tornado kicks. Man. That was like, I love that movie, and I saw Ahmed do it too.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh man, I ain't never seen nobody do that. You know what I'm saying? So like, cause I actually showed my dad that video recently. He was like, man, he putting them bees on him, man. I was like, man, he putting them bees on him. Like when you go in the ring, and what's your mindset?
My mindset is the same like when I play football. I'm out to kill you, and I'm gonna do what it takes to make the play. But in wrestling, you can make it appear like that, but you can't actually kill them because people are not gonna hire you.
Yeah.
So you have to go in there and make it look as good as possible. You be physical, but not 100% physical. So if I stomp you, you're gonna feel a stomp, but you're not gonna be with no broken bones. They call it stiff. I'm gonna be stiff because we big guys. You got to be able to take it. They give it to me, I take it, I give it back to you. Now, if you get out of line...
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. Have you ever had to get on somebody?
Oh, yeah. You get out of line, then we're going to take it to the next level. And the thing of it is, sometimes it can get as bad as going outside the ring and y'all really throwing blows, or we can still go with the match and just lay it on you, and then to tone it down like you saw Brock Lesnar lay it on.
Talking about
what's the big guy name?
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman.
Strowman. You see when he did too much, what he did to him, he woke him up.
Yeah, he woke him up.
Yeah, so that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So it happened a couple of times, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's about you taking care of each other. Give the fans what they paid for.
Yeah.
Be the character that you are, and go out there and perform and take care of your guys. Like sometimes, guys are want to try different moves, and if it, like I call it big man moves. A big man ain't got no business doing moves like Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Because it's too dangerous.
Yeah.
Unless you just like Undertaker's a super strong guy. He can pick a big guy up and hold him up and move around with him and then slam him or whatever because he's strong enough. But the average guy, especially back then, was really not that strong. They can lift a little weight, but they can't really lift no weight.
Yeah.
And picking up body weight is different from picking up weights.
Yeah.
So they moving around and stuff. And you can hurt people like that big time. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of WCW, have you ever been to like ECW or like maybe overseas or like to Mexico?
I never got a chance to go to a ECW because I had so much going on with the OCW and making appearances. Then when I got with Arlena, I was really doing a lot of stuff. So I never had the opportunity to go see ECW, even talk to ECW because my schedule was full. So I just didn't have the chance. But I liked ECW, what they were doing because it was so different. Some of it was entertainment, some of it was just downright crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I met he just died not too long ago. Gangster, what was
New
it?
Jack.
Oh, New Jack.
Yeah, that's my guy.
is
New
something
Jack.
else, man.
Yeah.
But you know what? I met him. He's a real cool, laid-back guy, family guy and everything. He just want to go out there and make his money.
Yeah.
But don't cross him.
Yeah.
Don't play with him.
Don't cross him.
Might get stabbed.
Yeah.
I met him. I met Jazz, and I met Jazz's husband. Can't remember his name.
Talking about
the red guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nate was just talking about him, man. I can't think of his name right now. They in I think they in Dallas right now with their promotion.
They got promotion going on in Dallas.
Yeah.
It's called Dog Pound Wrestling.
Dog Pound Wrestling, yeah, they're real
yeah.
cool people. Y'all might want to get them on your show too. They real cool. Jazz, both of them real good people.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I can't remember his name.
I can see his face,
Yeah.
but I
Wore
can't
the
get the
chain
name.
around his
Oh,
neck.
yeah. And the crazy thing was his career in WWE was slept on too. He was real good, man. He was real
For
good.
some reason,
Rodney Mack. There
Rodney
you go.
Mack.
Rodney Mack.
For
I knew I
some
was
reason,
gonna
man,
get
I
it.
can't tell you what happened with that because it was crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was crazy.
that was crazy, man.
It was just a
Well-
lot of people slept on.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, speaking of crazy and everything like that, I know you said you had some haters and stuff like that, and they was hating on you. I mean, them hating on you. I mean, look at you now.
You see how God were?
Yeah, yeah. I
They
just
ain't
had to,
one
I
that
just
was trying
had
to
to
cut
bring
my
it out
money.
because
Yeah. Trying to
it's
cut my
crazy
opportunity,
because you had these opportunities and then they was cut from you
Mhm.
by people who you thought was your friend.
Right.
And it's like, honestly, now you gotta look at it. If you,
Yeah.
you know, not throwing no shade towards nobody, but
Mhm.
you know, look what you got going on now.
Mhm.
Look at All Man Johnson.
And you don't wish bad on
You don't wish no
Yeah.
bad on
You don't
nobody.
wish bad on
You know.
nobody. It's not even about. It's about my biggest thing was being successful and working with my people so we can all eat.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
bigger the pie, the bigger the slice.
Yeah.
That was my mentality.
Yeah.
I talked to Booker T, Stevie Ray, all man, just, hey man, let's all come together. They could be working in WCW, we working over here, and let's build our own pie, our
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
thing right here. Everybody had these egos, you know. It was just y'all don't see the big picture here.
And then
Yeah.
what's crazy, if you think about it, All Man and you as a tag team, who gonna
You
stop
couldn't
y'all?
pay him
Yeah,
to do it.
that was
You
a
couldn't
big
pay him to
deal.
do it. I told him, man, let's do it. Oh no, I believe working by myself. But then you up here tagging with Shawn Michaels and the other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
You
that.
know what I'm
I
saying?
remember
But
that.
you don't want to tag with me because you feel like, you know, I'm taking away from you.
Mm.
Dude, it's just a work.
Can you imagine y'all two going against the Road Warriors at that time?
Come on.
And they was over.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That was over.
Come on.
That's pay-per-view worthy
Pay-per-view money
match.
right there.
Exactly.
They gonna come pay to see that because now you got
Exactly.
these two powerhouses. Be
Mhm.
like, okay, is the Road Warriors gonna win or is they gonna win?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that would have been
And God
real
bless
big.
their soul. The Road Warriors
Yeah.
were real good guys, real
Mhm.
good, down to earth guys. I met them. We worked with them. back in Louisiana, and they're real cool. God bless their soul.
Yeah, that actual I'm gonna say dream match. That actual dream match could last a couple months, probably a year.
Could have been a great
probably.
angle.
Yeah, very good angle.
Because it's so believable. You got these guys from the streets over here, and you got these guys, bikers from over here. So it's a real good angle.
Yeah, for sure.
I could have made some work with that.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure, for sure.
So another thing that I would like to talk about, I want to talk about the situation when you had to like face death and stuff like that.
Oh man, yeah.
I want to get your story out there to the people. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, after I had stopped doing athletics, stopped wrestling and stuff, the body took a lot of punishment doing that stuff, getting slammed on the mat, fall on the ground. That stuff is like football. You're going to feel it later. Like even now, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I'm stiff. I had to walk slow and then just kind of tap the legs and whatever, get everything circulating. You're gonna leave with something.
Yeah.
For sure. And I had started putting on weight, and just for some reason could get my body back online. So what was going on? I had this thing called lymphedema. It's called like when you have two systems in your body. You have one that pumps the blood, and you have the lymphatic system that gets rid of the waste. That means you go pee or whatever. So the lymphatic system was getting clogged. That when you see people with them big old legs, that's all that waste and fluid. Okay. So it went from this leg to that leg to my feet to my stomach to my arms, and it was getting to the point where it was coming to my heart. I couldn't walk from here to right there. I'll be breathing so hard and couldn't. So finally, it took me to the hospital. I was in there, almost 30 days, right at 31 days. And so I'm in there, and I'm talking about I had to be helped for everything, going to the bathroom, taking a bath, to sit up, to take IV. Every move that was done, I couldn't do it because I was that messed up, because when that fluid hits you like that, your limbs and everything, your muscles, they're weak. It's almost like they're paralyzed, so you just can't, like I'm sitting up like this here, I couldn't even do that. It was that bad. And so I'm in the hospital, and one night, I'm sitting up there, and it's like 3 a.m, and I'm just thinking about, because it had a window. Every room had a window, and my window was from here to that wall. And I was just thinking, man, one day I'm ready to get up and walk to that window and look outside, because the whole world is still going while I'm in here. And I was in ICU, and I'm watching TV, and I kind of dozed off, and I woke up, and the TV was on the prayer channel. And as it just was playing, music started playing, and then it started playing, and it started showing, like, you know how it showed the words to the song? So it started showing the words to the song, then it started telling me, you need to repent, this, that, and the third. And I'm looking at it like, it's like somebody having a conversation. Am I tripping? Is it IV or what? So then I started feeling this feeling inside the room. It was definitely supernatural. It wasn't normal. And it wasn't IV, because IV was out. So then all of a sudden, I kind of blanked out, but I didn't. And when I woke up in my conscious or whatever, I wasn't here, but I could still feel my body here. And I saw it had to be heaven, because it wasn't hot. But the gate was bigger than anything you can imagine. Okay? On top of that, the energy was so powerful and good, you couldn't describe it. No man could describe it. So the minute I looked up and I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on, all of a sudden it started raining. Then next thing I knew, I felt like in the water, and I was upside down, and then something grabbed me and it pulled something from me, and it was black. And I'm looking at this, and it let it go. And when I turned to see who did it, like that, I'm back in my body. And I was like, breathing real crazy and stuff. And I called my wife and called a nurse and told them what happened. And in the middle of doing that, the spirit told me, don't worry about a thing, you're going to be okay. I'm sitting here talking to you today.
Yeah. Hey, man, let's go ahead and clap that up. Let's go ahead and clap that up, man. That's a blessing.
Blessing.
That's a blessing, man, because like I said, there's a lot of people who go through stuff in life and who got it way harder than what we got going on.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Again, like you said earlier, everybody didn't wake up.
Everybody
didn't wake up. So, man, it's
I'll
a
never
blessing
forget
to have
this
you.
lady that was in there. She was in pain every day. She would cry for pain every day, all day, during the day, during the night. I was praying for her while I was in my room because the lady told me there was nothing they could do for her. I don't know what she had, but she would cry because she'd be in so much pain day in and day out. That was her life.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Another thing we would like to tap into, the drugs and the sports and how that came about and mixed up together, man. Tell us a little bit more about that.
The drug scene in the entertainment business, period, is horrible because I, as an athlete, when I went to the wrestling business and went to WWE, whatever, I felt like at least here it's not gonna be that abroad. Man, come on. And they do their job to make sure guys are not doing certain things. But in that locker room, anything's possible. They had people that would come by and and they always start because of us being this color. Hey, Big Al, I know you got some of that stuff. I'm like, what stuff? The man, I ain't got nothing. I ain't trying to get kicked out of here, none of that. No, all the brothers had it. I had to bite my tongue because I wanted to tell them something.
Yeah.
Man, whatever, But it was bad.
Yeah.
Everything from pills to steroids. Those guys were taking steroids, painkillers, doing coke. I mean, you name it, they were doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were doing it.
You always hear them stories about, how that locker room was back then and all promotions,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of them guys, passed on because, you're doing this physical work. You're out here on the road 300 days a year. You're not getting proper rest. You're not really eating right. And then on top of that, you're doing all this stuff. It's only a matter of time for your body's going to give out.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you stayed away from that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah. I had my kids and grandbabies to live for. I wasn't trying to do none of that.
And we was just about to get into that, man. Family, man, parents and everything like that, man. We on the internet, we seen stories and everything, but we got the man here in front of us, man. We want to like to hear your parenting success and how everything happened and the stuff you had to go through and what you went through and everything like that. When
it comes to parenting, when you in the industry, any form of entertainment, you're going to have to make a decision. It's either going to be the family or it's going to be the career. If you notice the guys that did the career and they became extremely successful, they have no relationship with their wife or the kids.
Yeah.
So they up there pretty much taking care of themselves. Yeah, you bring in the money, but you gone all the time. Whereas that the person that put the career part-time or a certain percentage and take care of the family and use the career to take care of the family, then your home structure becomes successful because it's stable. You got boys and a daughter, and without male supervision, you got a wild house going on.
Yeah.
Because they know one day they walk out that door, he's going to be gone 2 or 3 weeks. That can't happen.
Yeah.
That way you got all these kids that's grown or they think they're grown out here doing all kind of crazy because they had no supervision. No supervision at the home. Therefore, they're going to go out there and do what they want to do when they feel like doing it.
Yeah.
They got to have structure. Without structure, you got problems. I'll tell anybody that. They can talk old school, whatever, but you got to have a foundation. What building stands without a foundation?
Yeah.
So as a parent, as a father, when you started having children and you like how did it feel to be a parent?
Man, that's one of the best blessings a man can have. To actually stand over your child while you're at the hospital and you see him in a little incubator or whatever they call a little bed, and you see that life that's pumping, that's from you, and you see the eyes and feel the power and the energy from the soul, right then and there, whatever you got going on in your life, you're going to put that on hold and say, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to really get this because I'm going to take care of this.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you're not a real man.
Yeah. Was spending that quality time like kind of hard for you with being like?
No, I make it happen. You got to make it happen.
Yeah.
There ain't no excuse about, I'm doing it. Man, you got to make it happen because what you put in is what you're going to get back. You don't put it in, then they go out there and do all this crazy stuff, be locked up, and you be wondering why that's happening because you didn't put in the time. You the man. You in charge. You have to make sure you have to make it happen. No excuses. God gave you energy, gave you the strength. You're healthy. Ain't nothing wrong with you. What's the excuse? Make it happen.
Yeah.
I did. I'm nobody special. So if I can do it, anybody else can do it. And that's needed, especially now.
Yeah.
Well, you are most definitely a great father with you having your son that's like one of like the most
That's
successful
a Texas legend right
Houston,
there.
Texas artist there is right now.
And he'll tell you, I was by the book when he was born and he came bigger. I said, Junior, what you want to do? Because you damn sure talented. Well, Daddy, I don't know. Let's try some stuff. So, of course, I went to the sports. Let's try football. Let's try basketball. He made the team, but Dad, I really don't like that. I want to fight. So we took him to boxing. He was real good at boxing. But him and the coach didn't get along because he felt like he can dodge the punches and not get hit. But you got to be able to get hit in the face because if you're not used to getting hit, you'll get knocked out a lot easier. Well, that didn't work too well with him. He said, Dad, I don't want my face to get messed up. Okay, all right, so we're not going to do the boxing. Dad, I want to be a rap artist. I said, oh, God. Because I already knew what was coming with that. I said, oh. I said, well, I tell you what. I'm going to buy you a laptop and a mic, the headset, and I'm going to see what you're going to do. He took that thing upstairs, and he was in his room the whole day. And when I came home from work, first thing I went upstairs, man, he was at that laptop like a mad scientist.
Yeah, I believe
This
it.
man had 300 samples of stuff he did in one day. And when he played it back to me, it was unbelievable. I said, this is really your talent. He said, okay, let's do this. So I took what I learned from entertainment and wrestling and put that into him and helped him mold and shape what he had going on. And then next thing you know, he said, well, Daddy, I'm rapping good. I said, you don't have a character. You need some type of a character because you got great lyrics, but you just another rapper with great lyrics. You got to have a character. You got to have some flavor. He said, flavor. Right. You know how Kool-Aid got all these different flavors? You got to have some flavor. Sauce was born right then and there.
and like, again, it's crazy because like when I say to me, and it's my opinion, to me, he's like the Tupac of Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I grew up on that era. Well, I was older, but I was part of that era. You know what I'm saying? And to see like the transition from then to now, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Sure.
My favorite song by Sauce Walka is Seasoning. I jam it.
Yeah.
It's in my playlist.
Yes.
Definitely.
He works hard. He's just like me when I was coming up in the rap and stuff. He works hard. He puts time into it, and he's serious about his business. He's serious. So I'm very happy.
And he got also too, he's running a record label.
Yes.
He has artists under him.
Yes.
And not only that, I can definitely tell that you taught him a lot because the business side of it, and we see it on his posts and everything like that. And he also put us on game too, as his followers and learning and stuff like that. He don't play about that business.
No.
You know, he had different opportunities to sign with this, sign with that, and he chose his own route, and it's paying off for him.
Right.
He most definitely picked up a lot of good traits from you. He learned it.
Yes, indeed.
He got the whole game from you. You could tell. You know?
All right, we are back, man, with our 2-hour PLP Premium Live podcast. And again, man, we got the 14-time heavyweight champion in the building, Mr. Al Rage Walker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we back. And so you talked about your parenting success and everything like that. And also with success, we want to talk about, you know, you doing stuff in the community and giving back and all your charity work and everything like that. So what made you want to get into charity and give back and stuff like that?
Because I saw the need. The need here in this city. Houston is like the third largest city in America. And with that, we have a lot going on here. A lot of good, a lot of bad. And in between all that, you have a lot of people that get swept under the rug. And what I mean by that is, the other day, I was driving, going to my son's smoke shop, and I seen so many people that were just living out on the streets. Some people had tents, some people had nothing. And I'm like, okay, this problem right here maybe cannot be fixed, but what if we did something to prevent that from happening? Well, how you do that? You go hit the youth. You go hit these young kids and let them know, hey, man, you only got so many years to be in school. Once you get out here, you out here. And it ain't gonna show no favoritism. Doesn't matter what color you are, whatever. If you're not prepared when it's time for high school or whatever school you're going to be over with, you're going to be just like them. So my thing was, let me get out here with these young people, motivate them, plant these seeds that are necessary, and sit back and watch them grow. I give an example. I went to elementary school about 30 years ago. This one kid in the class was bad. The teacher, she couldn't do nothing with him. I said, just let me take him outside. I took him outside, gave one of them outrage talk.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I mean? I gave him that talk.
Yeah.
I would say 20 years later, I'm in the restaurant, me and my wife eating, and he passes by. This is the same kid. We grown, of course. I don't know what he looked like. You that man? I said, what man? You came to my school when I was second grade. You told me how bad it was, and guess what? Now I'm a manager. He just couldn't stop himself. He thanked me so much. He said, I was going down the wrong path. But see,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and even if you just change one life, it's better than zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so just imagine like what y'all got going on here. Y'all can change a bunch of lives, man.
No.
We appreciate
Y'all
it.
can change a bunch of lives. Y'all gotta have kids that want to gangbang and stuff, want to do this stuff here. You know, hey, it's better than going to prison.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely is.
Is it? Because like,
Running your own business and stuff. Come on.
like one of our goals, man, is just to reach out to people and
Right.
connect with people.
Right.
And we also do charity events and everything
Right.
like that. We had the back to school giveaway in Conroe,
Yes.
and gave out a lot of school supplies
There
to
you go.
students and stuff like that.
Shout out Jay Davis.
Yeah, shout out to Jay Davis. He's
Okay.
a pro wrestler as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's
shout
up,
out to-
Jay?
Yeah, shout out to him and
Yeah.
you know, and sock drives and toy drives. We trying to get into all that and
Yes.
reach out and stuff like that. So we definitely can, we definitely connect on that too.
I'm happy to see that because there's so many kids, you know, that have their own struggle. You'd be surprised how many kids leave school every day and that's their last meal for the day.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I saw a kid one time when I was working in school. She came up to me and she said, Mr. Walker, can I have $1? And I said, yeah, what you need $1 for? When I passed by Jacob, I wanted to buy the 2 tacos for $1. That's my last meal till I come to school the next morning. I'm like, wow.
Man.
Yeah. That's tough to hear, but for you to be able to help raise $1 million in charitable organizations is phenomenal.
Yes.
You know.
Getting out there and just making it happen, you know, letting people know. You know, like I saw some homeless people about a month ago underneath the bridge and it was hot. I'm talking it was 100+ degree weather. I'm like, come on, y'all. Really? This is what we're going to let happen?
Yeah.
And I got online and I talked about it. And I bought like $100 worth of stuff and came back, but they were already gone. So I'm saying to myself, okay, somebody done heard me and took care of them. And they never did come back. But my thing of this is this. My thing is this. If you see something, you could do something, do something.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't rich. Yeah, okay, I understand that, but do something.
Anything you can.
Anything you can do something.
Yeah. For everybody who's listening and watching and everything like that, can you give them some words of wisdom and encouragement?
Okay, words of wisdom and encouragement. I'm gonna tell you right now, you can't do nothing without God Almighty. I'm telling you that right now. You're gonna try, you can turn your head, you can high side, but I'm telling you right now, all you're doing is putting a car up on a jack, hitting the gas at 100 miles an hour, it's not even touching the ground. And if that's the kind of life you want to live, by all means, go right ahead, but you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
The way to the top, give him his praise first, put your mind where it needs to be, get ready to get your hands dirty and get out there and get it.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Any other way, you're wasting your time.
And then far as like the young wrestlers up and coming, with you having all that experience and being a pro wrestler, what you have to say for the young guys and girls coming up?
First of all, definitely be focused. Don't worry about having friends. Stay in shape. Stay off the drugs. Don't get involved with no type of drugs. And don't let nobody tell you can't do it. Because I went from sitting on my couch watching on TV to being on pay-per-view with the WWF and had one of the biggest pay-per-views ever. So you'd be surprised what you can do. You put your mind to it, put the man upstairs first, and go out there and just go get it. And I mean get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that,
Hey, man,
you
let's go
can't put
ahead.
it no better than that.
Being real, man.
Yeah, man.
I have a
Being
question
real.
for you too, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Walker.
Yes, sir.
One of our goals and dreams is to also come up with our own wrestling promotion.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for us?
First and foremost, the heads have to be in sync. It can't be like, we have any type of, you're going to have disagreement. That's part of business. I'm going to have ideas, you're going to have ideas, but do your research like I did with WWF. Figure out how everything works. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Look at the old stuff. Look at the new stuff. Look at what worked. Look at what didn't work. So when you do put your game plan together and this stuff comes to you, you're going to see it's going to be familiar to you. Well, you already know the answer. So you don't study for the test. You got to study first. And then when you put it all together, now you're taking the test. And you're going to have some days where you're going to fail. You're going to have some days where it's going to be real good. But the process of getting there is going to be so great and rewarding for you. And now with all this, because I ain't had none of this. I ain't know that. Y'all got all this. Oh, man, y'all could be millionaires in a couple of years.
And that's our goal.
Yeah,
Just
that's
in
our goal.
Texas
Thank
alone.
you.
That's our goal, man.
Shoot.
Man, we live, eat, and breathe this, man. This is all we do.
If you love this like that, then I don't see no reason why you shouldn't be doing it. Because there's so many ways. Let's be real. True wrestling fans love wrestling, and they respect the indie circuit because they know the indie circuit is more available to them than the big boys.
Yeah, and we talk about that a lot because we actually go to a lot of the shows. New Texas Pro, Texas Contender Series, Loco, Wrestle Rave, OTB, OTOB. Yeah. It's a lot of good shows in Houston that come every week. Texas Contender Series, them every Thursday. It's tomorrow.
What I'm telling you guys right now, when y'all get ready to start, y'all let me know and I'll do what I can to help y'all for real.
No, we appreciate
we
that.
definitely
Y'all let me know that
appreciate
for real because I want to see y'all guys make it. It's like passing the torch.
Yeah,
me?
thank you
Yeah.
so much. We really appreciate that and then like our story is really, really unique how we all came together. So like it started with me.
Right.
I was in my living room.
Okay.
And it was kind of like a hobby, you know.
Right, exactly.
My first episode I did was when CM Punk debuted in AEW.
Okay.
And I put it on YouTube. I edited the video myself, you know, and stuff like that. It got I think about like 70 something views, but I was happy with that. You know,
Exactly.
I'm just trying it for the first time.
But before you had
zero.
Right.
So, and then I started looking around for studios because I was like, I really like this, and I got a little reaction from my 70 something views.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a professional studio, and we did. And then my best friend over here, Zello, found out he liked wrestling. So then we came together,
Right.
and then how everybody else came together: Guru, Corey, Slack,
Eddie.
yeah, Kung Fu Eddie. I actually I met Corey and Slack at an AEW show.
Okay.
And we kind of linked up and then brought them on.
Okay.
And then Corey brought in Guru
Okay.
and he came along. And then how Kung Fu Eddie came, he DM'd us. He liked what we was doing and he wanted to be a part of it.
See.
And then for you know it, man, the big propaganda grew. Because
Yeah.
now we got 3 shows in under one umbrella. We got
Okay.
the group show when we come together. And then we got the Tag Champs podcast with Corey and Guru. And then we got Shots and Chops. And then Eddie just all over the place. And Eddie do a lot of stuff behind the scenes too. He good with the camera.
Okay.
He do a lot of our interviews
Right.
when we go to the live shows.
Gotcha.
So everybody just, everybody helps out.
And see, the formula y'all got going is good. And I'm going to tell you why. Because all these different shows, what y'all doing is y'all building that audience. And when y'all get ready to have the debut of your new company, wrestling, whatever, Texas Beatdown Festival, you want to call it for that event, you're going to have a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Because not only do they want to see the talent in the ring, but they're going to want to see you guys too because y'all done built that audience. But it's all behind the amount of work you put into it. These charity events y'all doing, going to the schools and all that kind of stuff, that stuff pays off because then you're going to have people, everybody's trying to build something right now.
Yeah.
And you guys are positioning yourself to where, people going to want to come and advertise on your deal. Therefore, the funds going to come in. Therefore, you can have better and bigger events. But I'm going to tell you right now, cut costs as much as you can.
Yeah.
You want to put out a real good product without having to go broke because you don't have to now.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And if you can stream it live and all that kind of stuff and do pay-per-view or whatever, have somebody pay for it, man, do it. Next thing you know, y'all be doing shows in Vegas.
Man, that's the goal,
That's
man.
the goal, man.
And we always come together and we come up. It's like a competition. Like right
Exactly.
now with Shots and Chops, we always trying to throw shade at our homies on Tag Champs. We go back and forth. We actually got a rivalry.
I don't think.
Yeah.
It's just friendly
You guys might be
competition.
the only black promotion for wrestling besides Booker T here in Houston that I can think of. Because I ain't doing it no more right now, but I think you guys and Booker T be the only.
Yeah, and
there's plenty of room for more.
yeah, it is
competition.
plenty of room. It is, and we actually interviewed a lot of his students and wrestlers.
Okay.
So like it's been like repeat. Like they always coming through.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And the main thing about y'all company when y'all do start the wrestling thing, make sure you're a man of your word, because that travels big time in the locker rooms.
Yeah.
If people know you take care of business, you say what you're gonna do, you do it. That carries it's like having credit. It's like having an American Express card from a no-name brand card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
we
carries
learned
a lot of
that
weight.
pretty early in the game, even with just doing the podcast, and that, you know, that reputation you get from people just coming on and having good things to say about you really
Right.
goes a long way.
Yeah, because we go to we go to Booker T shows at Reality of Wrestling. We got kids want to take pictures with us, and
See?
Corey had signed a couple autographs, and then we get the acknowledgement from the wrestlers. They know who we are.
Right, you're well
And-
respected.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, kids know who we is.
Yeah. I mean,
You
you
know?
know, kids love wrestling. They love the character. They love the whole content of it. And then, you know, it's so available. You pick up your phone, you can watch it anytime you want to.
Yeah.
It's way more available now.
Yeah, and then with our first New Texas Pro show, we had merch.
Yes.
We sold out.
Sold out of
And
merch.
it's crazy.
What do you think made John Cena? WWE or the merch? The merch.
The merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The merch made John Cena.
Yeah.
All he had to do was just show up, hey, and then they, you know, they buying everything, every show.
And it's crazy because we literally had just started, and we put out a couple episodes, and we started branching out. But it's like, you know, we got the merch just on. We hope somebody gonna buy a shirt,
Dude.
Yeah.
and before you know it, like the whole venue bought all our shirts.
You got to remember, a lot of fans are collectors. They'll turn their whole bedroom into, you know, wrestling items and merchandise and all kind of stuff. You got fan bases strong when it comes to that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, again, man, we definitely appreciate you
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
through, man.
For sure.
And
I appreciate you guys having me on.
And also with that being said too, we don't want you to be a stranger. We want you to come back and about anything, man. We talk about anything and everything wrestling
For
on the
sure.
Big Propaganda Wrestling Podcast. We all about the people. We advertise with anything that anybody want to do.
Right.
It ain't necessarily just got to be wrestling, but we all about helping people.
Helping people.
And,
That's right.
Again, man, we appreciate you for coming through.
I appreciate you guys. Y'all
Also,
been a blessing
again,
today.
shout out to Miss Arlena. Arlena Richardson Agency. And,
Yes.
and for future bookings, if you want to book this man right here,
That's right.
you got to go through Miss Arlena.
That's
Miss
right.
Arlena. And
You guys have anything else y'all want to ask me real quick or whatever? Or y'all want to, did I miss anything?
oh no, everything
you
was
covered-
on
you
point.
covered all that,
Okay.
yeah.
For the people at home,
Uh-huh.
if they want to reach you, what's your socials?
You can catch me definitely on the internet, Outrage Walker on Instagram, and also it's the same name on Facebook and Twitter.
Twitter. Okay, Outrage Walk on Instagram,
On everything.
Facebook, Twitter, everything like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm
It's been an
excited
honor,
right
Mr.
now, man.
Walker.
It's been an
Yeah,
honor.
it's
It's
been an honor.
It's been a real honor, man. It's been a real honor. Cause like you don't get opportunities like this all the time, and when you get this opportunity, you got to go take that. You got to take it.
And that's what you guys are doing. That's why y'all gonna be successful, because y'all not afraid to go outside the box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, get in contact with me. You know, having this, I like the way y'all got everything set up. It's a nice spot. You know, y'all going places.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you,
really
thank
means
you.
a lot
Yeah.
to us.
Y'all going
Yeah.
places.
And we only been doing this for over a year.
See? And
Yeah.
it doesn't take long. I mean, when I first started, I trained for a year. Then next thing you know, I'm on SmackDown and who knows what after that. So you just never know. You just got to get out there and do it.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't think about it, be about it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And with that being said, man, shout out to the whole crew, man. Shout out to Tag Champs Podcast. Shout out to Shots and Chops. Shout out to Guru Dynamite, Kung Fu Eddie, Corey Jarrett, my boy Zello right here, man. Shout out to our boy Keezy. Keezy in the cut in the building right now, man.
Now you know he gonna get mad. You know what I'm saying? Saul Walker, shout out to Saul.
Hey, nothing. We gotta definitely shout out Sauce. Of course, we gotta shout out Sauce. You know, cause we had the opportunity to drip and splash on the Big Propaganda Wrestling Podcast, man. And also too, go get that album he had dropped. Go get it right now. Go do that, man. You got anything you want to say?
Man, today's been an absolute pleasure. I'm telling you, man, just the flavor we done kicked today been on another level. Hey,
Let's just call it a new ingredient.
Yeah, new ingredients. Like what Sauce said, you got to have the right ingredients and spices and herbs.
Yeah,
and
man.
seasoning. Yeah, man. So, Hey, man, I'm Mikey Manslaughter Facts.
Yeah, and I'm Zello Smoke.
Hey, man, when y'all down with the PWO, you're down for life.
Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee.